We turn now to an ABC News investigation of a religious movement that has hundreds of thousands of followers around the country. Elizabeth Vargas and her team at 2020 have tracked down former members who now say that some churches in the movement are twisting the idea of biblical discipline into child abuse.
Jocelyn Zichterman grew up in a church many Americans have never heard of, an IFB, or Independent Fundamental Baptist Church.
My brother is a Baptist pastor in the IFB. My father's a Baptist pastor in the IFB. My husband was an IFB pastor. So we come from a long line of people within the IFB.
There are thousands of them across the country, ultra-conservative, interpreting the Bible literally. Zichterman is one of many former members who, in a 2020 investigation, claim they're lifting the veil on physical and sexual abuse within some IFB congregations and churches that cover it up. It all begins with what she calls church-sanctioned abuse.
If you're not bruising your child at times, you're not spanking the child enough.
One pastor says 2 weeks after they come home from the hospital.
A 2-week-old baby needs
Yes.
to be spanked?
Yes.
For what?
Crying too much.
What happens when church members take biblical discipline too far? Last year, this IFB couple was charged with beating their 7-year-old daughter to death. They pleaded not guilty, but police say they were following the disciplining techniques in a book widely read in IFB circles. And last month, 2 leaders of an IFB church in Wisconsin were charged with child abuse. They pleaded not guilty. This IFB pastor condemns the abuse and insists that IFB churches are not all the same.
There are independent fundamental Baptist churches that are highly controlling, that do some quite bozo things, but to broad brush them and to say, okay, this is what every independent fundamental Baptist church isn't fair-handed.
Is there a problem, though, with IFB churches and the abuse of children?
We happen to be fundamental. We believe in historic Christianity. That doesn't mean that we're part of an organization of hiding abuse.
We spoke to several women who say they were sexually abused as girls and felt that they were blamed while their attackers were allowed to remain in the church. At least 2 teenage girls were forced to stand up in front of their congregations and confess their sins. One of them was just 15 years old when she was allegedly raped. Her alleged rapist, George, was sitting in the congregation at the time.
Something that was done to them. Okay, and you'll have the full report tonight on 2020.